Hey, what's up, gang? It is Matt with OddsJam, and today's video just going to be breaking down the blockbuster trade between Ben Simmons and James Harden. Totally unbiased reaction to the trade, talking strictly basketball, what it means for both teams, and actually, one second, hold on. So, anyways, as I was saying, strictly unbiased basketball analysis, going to cover both sides equally. Don't have a rooting interest at all. What an absolute blockbuster trade between these two teams. I saw that the Sixers odds went from like plus 1100 to plus 600, something like that, as far as winning the championship. Their East odds got even better. The Nets odds went down. Just an absolute crazy trade. So focusing on the Sixers side of it's just an incredible trade for the Sixers. You have to be incredibly happy if you're a Sixers fan, which I am not. If I were a Sixers fan, I would be popping champagne, drinking heavily, which I am not, obviously. I would be just absolutely running the streets in happiness. They got a player, Ben Simmons, who absolutely turtled in the playoffs every year of his career that he's played in the playoffs. And Ben Simmons refused to get better, refused to shoot, just an absolute loser of a player, which is what I would think if I were a Sixers fan. Granted, there is some risk with James Harden, obviously. He has his own history of playoff meltdowns. As recently as this year and last year, he hasn't been able to stay healthy with a pesky hamstring injury. It's yet to be seen how he's going to play with Joel Embiid, but again, if you're a Sixers fan, which I'm not, you have to be incredibly happy. Philly faithful showing up to the first game in Philly against the Nets is going to be absolutely legendary. Incredible trade. So now we'll get to the Nets side of this. For a Nets fan, you got to be disappointed. It was just a year ago that they made the trade for James Harden. People like me, I thought the Nets were heavy favorites to win the championship this year. Having Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie Irving, that's just impossible to stop. It was unfortunate we weren't able to see it last year because of the injuries. Only Kevin Durant ended the playoffs healthy. And this year just seemed cursed from the start with the whole Kyrie Irving stuff. Then Joe Harris got hurt. Then Kevin Durant got hurt. And James Harden was clearly unhappy. So it's interesting, to see what they're going to get in Ben Simmons. Obviously, the terms of the trade were James Harden and Paul Millsap for Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond, and some draft picks. The headliner is obviously Simmons and Harden. Losing Curry will hurt the Sixers a little bit offensively, but they got someone like James Harden. And then on the Nets side, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what Ben Simmons looks like, right? The last time we saw him, he melted down in the playoffs. He passed up a wide open dunk. I do think he would be extremely helpful on a team that had Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Kevin Durant should return in a couple weeks from his knee injury. God only knows what it's going to be like when Kyrie Irving returns, if he ever does return full time at least. I know he's obviously playing half the games, only the away games. And then outside of that, the Nets have to, like I said, you have to be disappointed. Maybe Ben Simmons will be better. He's definitely more suited to play with a player like Kevin Durant than a player like Joel Embiid. Kevin Durant, one of the best scorers in NBA history. And Ben Simmons, he's never been able to thrive without the ball in his hands. He's refused to do anything off the ball. He just, with the Sixers, would put him in the dunker spot, and he'd be pretty useless. So it'll be interesting to see what the Nets do with him. But overall, you just got to be disappointed if you're a Nets fan. Sixers fans got to be excited, again, which I'm not one of those. And as far as predictions go, I just can't wait to see how things go in the playoffs. I think the Sixers have a legitimate title chance now that they got Harden, and they never did before. And the Nets, you lose a guy who didn't want to be there, but you gain a guy in Ben Simmons that no one's seen since June. So it's going to be incredibly interesting. And that's pretty much the analysis there. I wanted to keep that quick, unbiased, strictly basketball analysis. Let me know what you think, if you agree with my thoughts, if you disagree with them. And other than that, please remember, rate, review, subscribe, share this channel with your friends so we can get in front of as many eyes as possible. And that's all I got for you. So back to your regularly scheduled betting content. Have a good one.